In order to use Adobe Connect for the purposes of a presentation which you can record and narrate PowerPoint slides, you just need to go to the system first. The first step is just to go to webconference.syr.edu. You can see this URL right here. This is where you want to go to create your presentation. So you go to this website and you log in with your NetID and your password, just the same login you use for your mail or MySlice. And you're brought to this interface. So I'm going to show you how to quickly set up a room. I'm going to show you just the things that you need to do and the buttons you need to click so that you can quickly get into the system and create a presentation or a narrated PowerPoint, for example. So you can see I've logged into the system. There's a number of hyperlinks up here, which you can pretty much ignore most of them, with the exceptions of the ones I'm about to show you. And I have many rooms here that I can use in the system. But if you're new to the system and you've logged in, this is probably blank. And this is the important one to get started. You want to create a new meeting room. So I'll select this button here, Meeting. And now I can start creating a space that I can do my recording or my presentation in. So I give it a name. I would suggest you just give it some kind of name like your last name or maybe something related to the topic that you're presenting on. And then you have the option of putting in a URL. You can actually, again, give it something that would make sense to you, but it's not going to be really, really important. But I would suggest giving it some kind of a name. So that's my last name with the word room attached, but that's what you need to fill in simply and only that you have to fill in. You don't have to put anything in the summary. You don't have to use these dates or times. This system is also used for live meetings, not just recordings, so that's why these things are there. What you might want to do is select the template you see right here. Quickly go here, click on the drop down and select the presentation template. I would definitely pick the one that says just presentation template, not IST 618 presentation template. So if I click on presentation template, I can just leave these settings as is. I can click the next button down at the bottom, and you'll see that this is where I have the option to put users in, but again, that's for a live meeting room. I can simply click next, and then I can see that there's a page here for invitations to a live meeting, but again, we're not doing that, so I can click finish. I now have a room right here that I can use to record myself with a PowerPoint so I can create a presentation which will end up resulting in a link that I can just submit to my instructor and they can watch my presentation. So I'm going to go ahead and launch this meeting room, and you'll see how you can now upload your PowerPoint slides. So you're noticing that Adobe Connect is launching what's considered a live meeting room session. And I've brought back into the frame just the pieces that you need to see. And here we are. So what I have here are two pods. And there's about 3 things you need to do to upload your presentation and to narrate and record your narration. First of all, you can decide if you want to have a webcam, as you can see here, to show your face while you're doing the presentation, which I would suggest you use, but you don't necessarily have to. And here's the space of the pod that you use to upload a document, namely a PowerPoint. So for example, I'm going to show you how I can just start my webcam by clicking on Start My Webcam. It'll give me a message about Flash. You just click Allow, and you can see there's a preview of the video of the camera that I have connected to my laptop here, or in this case, to my computer station. If I'd like to show my own face as I narrate the slides, I would click on Start Sharing, and here I am. Now this is not a great video shot because I'm in a large room, but if you're on your laptop, obviously it would look much better, and you're going to want to play with those settings. So I would suggest trying your camera out and think about whether or not you'd like to have yourself on camera or not. If you prefer not to, you can stop my webcam. You can always take a pod, what this is called, an A, move it around. You can also go to the top right hand corner and I could just hide it. So I don't need to have the camera on anymore. And then I can take my resulting pod, which is the share pod, which is the thing that we're going to actually use for the PowerPoint and the presentation and the narration, and just stretch it out and fill the frame so that I can now upload my PowerPoint. So if I click on the drop down just to the right of share my screen, I have the option to share a document, which I want to do. I share the document. I now have this navigational dialog box that has access to my content in the system, but there's also a browse my computer button. So I browse my computer for my already finished PowerPoint, and hopefully I have one here. And all you need to do now is select a PowerPoint from your system. And you can see here I have one called, well, in this case I'm just selecting an existing PowerPoint, which is called Bio. So I open it up, and what happens is it takes the PowerPoint, you can see it's a PPT file here, and it converts it, it uploads it to the system. And here it is converting it to a Flash file. And you're going to want to be sure to click through this PowerPoint and make sure it looks okay before you actually record your voice over the slides, before you actually create the presentation. So once it's uploaded, I would suggest that you click through each slide to just make sure it looks okay. For example, here I've gone to, looks like the first slide, and I can click through the slides like I would in PowerPoint on the bottom left-hand corner, and just go through it and make sure that the animations and the words, the fly-ins, the bullets, all are functioning as they would in PowerPoint. You'll notice things like this happen where that looks like that line is a little bit out of sorts with the text. So you're going to want to keep your PowerPoints relatively simple and use a lot of white space so there's enough room, because when the PowerPoint is converted to a Flash file, sometimes these little things happen. So the best thing to do is to check it out ahead of time and make sure it looks good. And if you have any questions or any real problems, don't hesitate to contact me. So I'm checking my PowerPoint slides. Everything looks fine. I'm going to go back to the beginning. And now here's the important part. So as a quick review, I have gone in, I've created a room, a session in Adobe Connect. I have launched the room, and I have uploaded a PowerPoint that I can now narrate. And when I narrate it, the thing I have to do is make sure that I record it as I narrate over my slides. The other thing that we did, if you recall, is I had basically a nice little video pod that I minimized or got rid of. If you ever wanted to bring the pod back, I go here, up here under pods, I can bring that video pod right back, and I can start my camera again. Anything that's on this canvas you see in front of you is what will get recorded. So I suggest you play a little bit before you actually record. Next step is very important. Now we have to go ahead and do our presentation. I have the screen in front of me. I now have to activate my microphone. And the important thing here is to go to Meeting, go down to Audio Setup Wizard. That's what you need to do. This is your way of setting up the microphone and making sure it works before you narrate your slides, and making sure that the audio will come out and you won't have to do it over and over again. So Meeting menu, Audio Setup Wizard, and just click through this next button, and here's where you would say to the system, you'd say play the sound so you can prove where your sound's coming from, your speakers. It won't be important because really all you need to know is what microphone you're using. You're not going to be listening to anything, you're going to be recording yourself, so the microphone is more important, which is the next step. But if I wanted to click on this, you can see that I'm getting my speakers, my sound coming out of my speakers, which is what I would want. But again, that's not as important as the next step, so I'll click on Next, and you'll see here's where you'll choose, is it a built-in microphone? I happen to have a Yeti microphone connected to this system I'm on. I have a Logitech camera microphone. I have 3 microphones. You probably just have one if it's your laptop. It's probably built in. Just make sure you select the correct microphone for yourself. I'm going to choose my Yeti, which is what I'm using. Click Next, and now you can do a quick check before you actually do the recording. This frame here, it says record. I would just simply talk, and I can see there's some activity, which is good. I can just do a quick audio check. I can hit play. I would just simply talk, and I can see there's some activity, which is good. I can just do a quick audio check. So that tells me that my audio is functioning. I'm ready to roll now. So I'm going to click Next. And there's also this other button which you can run or you can skip, which tests for white noise in the room before you're recording. I'm going to hit Next. And there's my settings for my microphone. I hit Finish. So there I am. I'm ready to do my narration. I have my PowerPoint in front of me, but I'm not recording anything yet, and my microphone has been set up, but I haven't turned it on. So there's the next step right there. Now you have to connect your audio. After you do the audio wizard and everything looks good, you see it turns green, and now I'm broadcasting. Now I'm ready to record. It may seem like a lot of steps, but once you go through this video and you try it a couple times, write down a couple notes. The steps are basically 2 to 3 steps to get to the point where you're ready to narrate your PowerPoint. So now I'm ready to record. Everything looks good. I see the mic is running. I am simply going to go up to meeting, and I'm going to select record meeting. The minute I hit record meeting, I'll get a little frame which will let me name it. If I want to give this a name of the recording, it's not imperative, you don't have to, but I'll just leave it as a default name, and then I'm going to hit OK. And as you can see right now, I'm recording. Up here it tells me I'm recording, the red button. I can begin my presentation. So I'd go down and I'd look at my frame, or my PowerPoint slide rather, and I could say welcome to chapter 11, gene regulation, or I just start narrating welcome to my presentation on this Spanish author. You could just basically begin your presentation knowing that your audio is being captured right in sync and in line with whatever frame or whatever PowerPoint slide you have in front of you. And as I talk, I would just navigate using the arrows in the bottom left-hand corner to my next slide. So my point 2 would be here. Point 3 would be on my third slide. So you get the point. Now, when you're all done and you're done with your presentation, don't worry if it's got some hems and some haws and some ums. If you have a little bit of dead time on the end of your presentation or beginning of your recording presentation, that's fine. It can be dealt with. So I would go up here though when I'm done and just click the red button and say stop recording. I have now just captured whatever I just said and whatever I just navigated through on my screen as a finished recording presentation, which is located back under my meeting information. If you remember this frame here, you can get back and log into your room, which we launched, and you'll notice now under recordings I have a recording. Here's the room name. Here's all the information we went through when we set it up. There's the room I launched to make the recording, and maybe you remember some of these frames that really aren't important, but now I have a recording, and this recording is by default private. So for my instructor and the other students to watch this, I need to make sure that I click on that box and I say make public. So this recording is called Downs Room 0. It's now publicly available once I share the link, which I haven't done yet. So I simply click on this link, and there it is. There's the recording. It shows me how big it is. It's a minute long in this case. And here's the magic link. So we had a link that got us to a room or a session in Adobe Connect Pro. That's the Downs Room. But when we did the recording, it generated this link, the URL for viewing of this recording. And if I want to watch it, which I would suggest you do before you send it into Blackboard or to your instructor for others to view, you simply just click the hyperlink here, and it's going to take your presentation and start it running. You can see right now I'm recording. Up here it tells me I'm recording, the red button. I can begin my presentation. So I'd go down and I'd look at my frame, or my PowerPoint slide rather, and I could say welcome to chapter 11, gene regulation, or I just start narrating welcome to my presentation on this Spanish author. You could just basically begin your presentation knowing that your audio is being captured right in sync and in line with whatever frame or whatever PowerPoint slide you have in front of you. And as I talk, I would just navigate using the arrows in the bottom left-hand corner to my next slide. So my point 2 would be here. Point 3 would be on my third slide. So you get. So hopefully that's a quick video showing you what you need to do to use Adobe Connect Pro to create a presentation. I will hopefully submit along with this video just a quick cheat sheet document alongside of it, which will just give you the basic steps that I just covered. And if you have any questions or issues about using the system, don't hesitate to contact me. You can call me or you can email me, might be best. My email is tjdownes@syr.edu. That is tjdownes@syr.edu. My name is Tom Downs. I'm working with Katie Clinton on this project for students to do presentations. Please don't hesitate to contact me if you're struggling at all with this process. Hopefully it'll go fine for you and you'll have some fun using the technology to share what you know. Thanks very much.